All right, welcome to this Saturday version of Quick Hits here on DB2. David Brem here with Daniel Butler as always. Butler, how's it going?
It's going well. In today's video, we're going to talk about Jeremy McNichols. Jeremy
The Titans'
McNichols
number one receiver.
out of just for 1 week. Hopefully, AJ Brown and Julio are a little bit.
Did I say anything that was a lie?
Oh, did have 8 catches against. Uh, I just drew a blank. Who do they? The Jets. They lost to the Jets. No. Okay, so that's going to be a big part of why this actually goes right into why I want to talk about this. I don't think the Titans are very good. I don't
They
think
are
they're
not.
good. I do think the AFC South is terrible. It's atrocious. So the games that they play, the AFC South, I think they're going to be favored to win, and I think they'll win a lot of those. But Jerry McNichols had 40 snaps in this game. There was a lot of snaps on offense, but he had a lot of snaps. He was a big part of this offense. Now, why do I like Jerry McNichols? Well, I can't say I love him. Derrick Henry is very good. He's the guy, all right? He's not going to overtake Derrick Henry as like the primary back. He had 1 carry, but he is the third down guy. He is the guy who's going to catch the passes on third down. He had 8 catches against the New York Jets. Also, like I already said, the team is not very good, I don't think. So this is their schedule coming up. Or maybe it already happened if you're in the future. Welcome. Welcome from the future. All right. Buffalo Bills. They are at home on Monday night after taking on the Jags. I'm looking past the Jags because I think they're gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be close. I don't know. I'm not sure on that one, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout either way. Buffalo Bills. I'm not okay.
Underdogs.
They're definitely gonna be underdogs. Then they play the Kansas City Chiefs. They are at home, but that's a game that might be a McNichols game right there. He might be out there a lot, depending on that game flow there. Though maybe they'll be able to control the clock with Henry, so we'll see. They go to the Colts, to the Rams, then they have the Saints at home, the Texans at home. They go to New England, home to the Jags, to Pittsburgh, home to the 49ers, home to the Dolphins, and then finishing at the Texans. Obviously, some of those games are kind of cupcakes, you think, because the division's soft. It's terrible. But
Mainly the Texans. Are we
but
willing to admit that? Like
hey,
main.
I'm not gonna lie. I personally think the Texans. I know they got beat 40-0. I personally think maybe there's a little bias. All right, I think the Texans can win this division. I do. I think the division is terrible. I know they got beat 40-0. All right, you don't have to remind me.
You better hope Taylor comes back like this week.
He needs to come back ASAP. But I think when he comes back, I think they're okay. They're not the worst team in the NFL, which a lot of people thought they would be, me included. Okay, so when they are heavily underdogs, especially in the next, I don't know, they're gonna three of the next four, no, four of the 3 of the next 5 weeks, so including the Jags. So after the Jags, 3 of the next 4, they're gonna be decently heavily underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a pretty solid flex play, especially in deeper leagues. I mean, obviously it's super risky because you're assuming they're going to be down, and McNichols is good. He might not be on the field too much. He might only be on the field 20-25% of the time. But this past week, being on the field 40% of the time, getting 8 catches, I don't know. I think that obviously, assuming Derrick Henry health stays up, but I mean, if you're getting 33 carries a game, McNichols might end up getting a big part later on in the year anyway if Derrick Henry starts wearing down a little bit. I don't think he will. The guy's an absolute monster, but I think he just runs 30. I think I saw his high school. Like he ran like 40 times a game in high school. Like they just every play it was just maybe even more. Derrick Henry, every single play. That's all they did. I assume when I looked at the box I'm like, did you ever pass the ball? But
You heard it here first. Butler thinks the NFL is the same as high school.
but he obviously has done this for much of his career.
He's insane. Almost anybody else like that kind of workload or wear on him, and it just doesn't seem to. So no, I get what you're saying. He's a guy that like obviously a name nobody thought about, and then he was number 16. You have to kind of take notice. But I like I said, you love that he's on the field on third downs. Yes, he was benefited this week by Julio and AJ Brown being out. Julio, it looks like is still going to be out this week. AJ Brown should be back. So there's a little bit of that. But if those weeks when you talked about some of the games where they're going to be big underdogs, if those you happen to have bye week guys at running back those weeks or stuff like that, like this could be a name that Honestly, if you have a deep enough bench, sure, stash him. You might not have to. You probably won't have to. He could just be a guy you grab off the waiver wire.
Yeah, right now I know whenever you see big days like what he had because he had 8 catches, people might pick him up. So he might, but then he'll get dropped if he doesn't do a whole lot against Jacksonville. And then you pick, he'll be available. There's a good chance. But when you see 40% of the snaps in a offense like this, I don't know. Tannehill thrown it 49 times. Obviously, that is not usually how they run the offense.
Yeah.
But the New York Jets, you don't face the New York Jets every week. All right.
That is true.
That's definitely true, right? Like
That's
you don't play the
fact.
it is.
Yeah.
So I actually have no idea how they lost to the Jets. I still haven't figured this out. That's why I'm so low on this
They
team.
scored less points.
True. I just feel like they're gonna get blown out on some of these games, so that's why I'm high on McNichols. Maybe that was just an anomaly, and the Titans are gonna rally back, and they're gonna beat Buffalo on Monday night, and then they're gonna beat the Chiefs the following week, or at least make this competitive. Maybe they might. But
it is weird because they've got the talent to be competitive.
Especially with Derrick Henry. I just personally think this is going to be Zach Wilson showed his best stuff this past week, so I don't necessarily think the defense is great. Again, maybe Zach Wilson has looked awful, and then now he looks competent. I think maybe the Tennessee defense isn't great. So I don't know. The only saving grace for them is that they're in this just putrid division. It's atrocious. So the teams that they face when they're the competition is not very stout. They just face the Jets, and that's like you would think. Like they have the Jets on their schedule. They have obviously the Jags twice, the Texans twice, and the Colts twice. So that's not great. And then even teams like Pittsburgh, they go to Pittsburgh. You thought that might have been kind of difficult. Now that doesn't look very hard at all. So the schedule doesn't necessarily look like it's overly difficult, but because they have that they go to the Rams. They have the Chiefs at home. They have the Bills at home coming up. I think when these bye weeks come in, especially in a deeper league, I think that's fun. If you're in a deeper league, 16-team league, you're throwing in McNichols. How exciting is that? Seeing McNichols on the field, like that's my guy. I play him, and he might catch it. He might.
I'm just picturing you sitting at home watching Red Zone, yelling for McNichols like you're the only person. Like there's Tennessee fans who aren't yelling for McNichols. You're just going crazy.
Wait, that's McNichols right there in the backfield. Yeah, that's definitely not Derrick Henry. That doesn't look like Derrick Henry. He's a much smaller guy.
Yeah, McNichols is. I actually looked this up because I think he's 5'9", so he's definitely not Derrick Henry. Just a guy like keep your eye on. Yes, he had a decent week this week, so some more people are looking at him. But like you said, there's a good chance people pick him up this week and drop him next week because the Jags aren't exactly a fantastic matchup for what he does. But then the matchups change a little bit for a few weeks. Maybe snag him then. So hopefully just a guy you weren't thinking about.
Yeah, he was a better running back this week, fantasy-wise, in a PPR than Alvin Kamara.
Well, we've talked about that.
Should you trade him for Alvin Kamara? Yes, you should.
You should if you're in leagues with me, and I can get McNichols real quick off the waiver wire. For sure, you should do that.
Okay.
So we appreciate you stopping by. We do this 5 days a week. A couple of quick hits, couple of longer ones. Format might be shifting a little bit, but we appreciate you stopping by. If you made it this far, thank you. And leave us a sub, comment, like, all the good stuff. You watch YouTube, you know what we need. And we appreciate it.
We look at some weird guys, off the radar type guys. That's kind of what we do. So
you don't need us to tell you to start Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
you do need us to tell you about.
They might not need that. They might just want confirmation. But confirmation like, are you crazy? You might be crazy, but in this instance, we might kind of agree with you. So maybe we're crazy too. But thank you so much. Leave a like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Yeah, you already said that. All right, that's it. See ya.
Yep.